What up, cuckolds? It's your boy, the Hater, and I'm back. And we're starting HaterMania 2024. That means one video a day. That's what I gotta say. Now, I've been out for a while, and luckily, during this time, a lot of things have happened in terms of wrestling. But this channel is going to be expanding to other things. First, I'll be doing some video game reviews. Video games old, video games new, and that's what I gotta say to you. Now, the Hater's been busy. Hater's been trying to buy a house. The Hater put an offer on a house. The offer went through, and then the house turned out to be a complete dump structurally. So the Hater quickly pulled that offer back, cuckolds. And with that being said, that's why I've been gone for a while. But now I'm back, and better than ever, if you ask me. Nothing is off limits. If you have any suggestions about what I should talk about, put them in the comments, you know? I'll take all suggestions into consideration, so what do you got to lose? Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and you know what I'm saying? Now we're going to the moon. Let's get it. The first video we're going to talk about is about Cody Rhodes and his wrestling schedule. You know, every couple of days, I look at WWE news for my own entertainment, right? I try to watch wrestling here and there, but sometimes I miss it. But at the very least, I'll go and read the results to see what I missed, right? Yesterday, I go, or what's today? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. So yesterday, I go and I look at the results of Raw after Raw airs, right? And I just scroll to the bottom by accident. At the bottom on WWE.com, when you look at the results, it has like little circles with the pictures and names of everyone that was involved in the show. So I'm like, oh, let's take a look at this first, see like who did anything, right? So I look, I see Cody Rhodes. I'm like, oh, maybe he had a match. I scroll all the way to the top, and I forget who it was at this point, but someone I think it was Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre interrupts Cody Rhodes was like the segment, right? And WWE puts up little videos that you can click and see what happened, right? But each video has like a 1-minute ad or whatever, so I don't really watch them unless like I'm interested, right? So I'm not interested in Drew McIntyre interrupting Cody Rhodes. First of all, who in the blue hell is Cody Rhodes to consistently come out and start the show with a nonsense promo? Like, what could Cody Rhodes possibly have said during this promo aside from, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble? What could he do? He doesn't have any real feuds going on. He's not doing anything with his career. So what exactly is he going to say, right? Now, that's a big problem to me because it highlights the bigger problem, which is that Cody Rhodes is doing nothing, right? I subsequently went and looked at all the matches that Cody Rhodes had, right? Since being back to WWE, he's had like somewhere between 100 or so matches, right? The vast majority of which are house shows that aren't televised. Now, this might work if you're Brock Lesnar. Hell, it might even work if you're, Roman Reigns. But if you're Cody Rhodes, you should be out there wrestling more often than Ivar. You know what I mean? Fucking Ivar is in every show, it feels like. And Cody Rhodes is out there coming out in a suit and blonde hair and cutting horrible lift promos, right? That nobody wants to really hear. It's over. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me started on CM Punk. But Cody Rhodes is never there. Now, you might be thinking, Hater, what should we do about this? What should have been done about this? Well, in my personal opinion, if you're not going to have Cody Rhodes finish his story, quote unquote, at last year's WrestleMania, right? The entire year, starting with the day, the Raw after WrestleMania, right? And culminating to the Royal Rumble, if you're going to have Cody Rhodes' main event, should be Cody Rhodes trying to finish his story, right? It should be him trying to get title shot after title shot. The fact is, he's done nothing for a year. So in other words, if this were a hero that I am meant to cheer, right? Let's just assume that I went along with WWE's horseshit narrative, right? And I was supposed to cheer for Cody Rhodes. If this is the hero, why would I still be interested in this hero, right? Shouldn't there be some heroic things that need doing for Cody Rhodes to reestablish himself? Or can he just screw around for the whole year and cut promos in brown suits, and then when Royal Rumble comes along, win that and then start his feud, right? Why even start a feud? Just win the Royal Rumble, don't do anything, come out at WrestleMania, and then do your match, right? To build up the hype. It should have been every week. Every week, Cody Rhodes should have been feuding with someone in the bloodline. Or if he's not doing that, feuding with someone that is a upper mid-carder. Instead, he's feuding with Dominic Mysterio, Judgment Day, which have nothing to do with the bloodline. And here and there, he's teaming up with Jey Uso all of a sudden. The same Jey Uso who was partially responsible for him failing to achieve his dream. Whatever it is, what it is, I understand how wrestling works. Now, with all that being said, why would anyone in the world be any more excited about this year's WrestleMania if Cody Rhodes is the challenger than last year's, right? In other words, what is the difference, right? Why would I care? He failed last year. He's just getting a second chance. Typically that happens at Backlash. But now I have to wait a whole year for the rematch? Why? It's not that compelling of a match. So with all that being said, in my opinion, the wind has completely been blown out of the sails, right? It should be The Rock who comes back and wins the Rumble. Cody Rhodes should be feuding with like Gunther or something, right? And Gunther should beat him, right? Because otherwise, what's the point of Gunther, right? That's what he should be doing, right? He shouldn't be in the championship picture because, quite frankly, he hasn't deserved it, I don't know why this asshole keeps getting opportunity after opportunity to basically be what he's supposed to hate, which is like the CM Punks and the John Cenas and the Brock Lesnar's of the world, right? And the Roman Reigns of the world. You never wrestle. Neither does Cody. So what do you think of them apples, right? And with that being said, I personally don't care at all about Cody Rhodes. I think it's a failed push. Even if he wins now, it's like, who cares, right? Like, there's nothing there. He neither proved himself, nor was he held down, beyond his capabilities, right? You have to consider that too, right? Because one of the arguments was he's not ready. He hasn't been back in long enough in WWE. That was kind of my point, right? But the underpinnings of that are that he needs to get ready, right? It's not that he hasn't been under a contract for a while, right? I don't give a damn about that. If he's going to be doing only things like wrestling Dominic Mysterio for a year, then that doesn't make him ready. The point is, he needs to reestablish himself as a top guy, right? Why isn't he having a feud with Orton? Maybe that's what he does at WrestleMania. I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't particularly care. But the point is, something needs to happen with Cody Rhodes for him to become interesting again. And that's the ongoing theme of this current reboot of The Hater. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, I don't have much more to say about Cody Rhodes, other than the fact that if he main events WrestleMania, I personally think it's going to be the most boring and least interesting main event in Mania history, because Roman Reigns hasn't been around the whole year, and Cody Rhodes hasn't been around the whole year. So the question then is, what the fuck have all of us been watching for a year? Just meaningless wrestlers like Humberto Carrillo wrestling meaningless wrestlers like Ivar and Tozawa only for the main event to be two guys that show up every 3 or 4 weeks and wrestle every 8 weeks? Nah. Something's gotta give. Cucks. You know what I'm saying? Cody Rhodes does not have the star power of Logan Paul. He does not have the star power of Brock Lesnar. He doesn't have the star power of Roman Reigns. And he doesn't have the ability of any of these men in terms of talent and marketability. So the fact is, he needs to go work for it, right? He needs to be a workhorse instead of a superstar, right? The problem is that every time one of these wrestling purists that put on 5-star matches, every time they get the taste of being a superstar, they all turn to superstars real quick, don't they, motherfucks? Real quick they turn to superstars. Just like that other guy called CM Punk. The next video is going to be about that bitch. But anyways, I digress. Right now, we're still talking about Cody Rhodes. As far as I'm concerned, Cody Rhodes is one of these wrestlers where the entire charm is in his return, right? Once he returns, he's not captivating enough to keep people interested in his boring storyline, which is, I need to finish a storyline. What kind of a vagary is that? Like, how vague can you be? What does that entail? Does it entail winning the WWE title? Or does it specifically entail winning the WWE title at WrestleMania? Because that's horseshit. If that's the way he finishes the storyline, that's very arrogant, right? It's very entitled, right? Because the entire finish my storyline thing reeks of entitlement. The implications are that because he's Dusty Rhodes' son, he somehow deserves to finish the storyline. Well, what about What about Commander from AEW? Doesn't he deserve to finish his storyline at WrestleMania? Doesn't Luther from AEW deserve to be signed and finish their story? What about Humberto Carrillo? What about Axiom? Shouldn't Axiom win the Royal Rumble? No, he shouldn't, and neither should Cody, because the entire premise of I deserve it because I'm good is ridiculous. It's absolutely like not well thought out, poorly written, and utter garbage. And with that being said, the haters back, cuckolds.